What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some r/relationships. If you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too, as it all massively helps out our channel. And with that being said, let's just crack straight on with today's stories. Much love, guys. And our first story does come from a throwaway account, and it's called Mum Had an Affair 18 Years Ago. I, 18 male, am the product of it. My dad just informed me of all of this and told me he will not pay for my college, while my siblings got their college experience paid by our dad. And it does follow with an update afterwards. Pretty much the title. I have no idea how to process all this, and I am completely unprepared for what lies ahead. Both my older brother and sister went to the same college. My brother graduated 2 years ago. My sister is set to graduate in 2 years. Both had their college paid by our dad. Dad paid all their college expenses, including rent, food, their cars, pocket money, you name it. My brother has a job now, his own place, lives together with his fiancée, and has his life together. My sister already has a good paying job, and my dad still pays for almost everything for her. I got accepted to the same college, which was always the plan, and was looking forward to talk with my parents about the next steps, and ask them to help me the same way they did for my siblings. I always assumed they had money put aside for my college the way they had for my siblings. Instead, I was met with a story about my mum's cheating, how I'm the result of her cheating, and how my dad is not willing to support me anymore moving forward. Dad told me Mum had 18 years to let me know and prepare me for the future, but obviously she never did. He said it was never his place to say anything since I am not his son, and didn't want to interfere with Mum's parenting. Apparently, my grandparents know I'm not my dad's biological son, but they haven't bothered to tell me anything either. My siblings had no idea, and they are as surprised as I am because there was never a hint of anything being off. I might be naive, but I always thought I had a great relationship with my dad. We go to see sports together, we go fishing together, he tutored me when I had difficulties with math. Dad is an engineer. He taught me to drive. I never got a hint he stored resentment towards me. I mean, he gave me my name and explained what my name means, and he was very proud of it. As the story tells from time to time, he likes to talk about stuff like that about me. My mum has never said a word about anything, and apparently she was supposed to have the talk with me, but she never did. I feel abandoned and unprepared for what lies ahead. I'm not even sure I'll be able to go to college anymore. I always assume my parents will pay for it. I never had a job, and I'm not sure what job I can even get to support me through college. I have no idea how to apply for loans. All my mum has done is cry and apologize, but nothing of substance. She has no idea how to help me. I don't even know if I'm welcome home anymore. It's all up in the air. I feel shame leaving my room, and if I'll be asked to move out, I don't know where to go. I don't have any savings, maybe $400 put together. I am angry at my mum. I am confused where I stand with my dad. There's a man out there who is my father that never had anything to do with me. I feel rejected and have no idea how to fix the situation. Anyone have any idea what to do here? Do I apologize to my dad? What do I say to him? I don't know. I've been stuck in my room these past few days, reading and browsing Reddit. I have no idea what to do. And there are some mini edits on this initial post, and then a full update which we'll cover afterwards. So we'll go with the mini updates and edits. Which said, edit, comments are coming in faster than I can reply, but I'm making a list with all the evidence about financial aid, health insurance, getting my own phone plan, etc. Things I didn't even think about before. Thank you everyone. I'll try to answer as much as I can, but there's more comments than I can handle. Updates, sorry to disappear, nothing bad happened to me. Managed to talk to my mum yesterday, but I chickened out halfway through what I had to say. The good news is that I'm not being kicked out or disowned, etc. Thank you all for your support, everyone. I will follow through and call financial aid at my college in a few hours and take it from there. My grandpa had a stroke a week ago, and my dad is helping my grandpa with setting up a live-in nurse, so he wasn't around yesterday. I will let you know how I manage. Thank you again. Update 2, sorry for not updating. My grandpa passed away yesterday morning. Nothing happened to me, but my situation is a secondary concern right now. Regardless, I think I'll be alright. Thank you to your amazing support and help. My sister is aware of everything and told me not to worry. She has my back and I have her support. I promise to update when there is any significant changes. Right now I need to support my grandma. And before we go to the update, I was questioning, how can a dad look after him all this time and then suddenly turn around and say, well, you're not my son, so I'm not paying for you, and just be like that? It seems a bit cold to me. But there was another question which Bedtime Shine said, and no one is standing up and having your back. To which OP replied, I tried talking with mum, but she is not really talking with me. Starts crying, leaves the room. I have tried. I haven't tried talking with dad because I don't know what else he has to say to me, and I'm scared about this, like he will kick me out, etc. I read some comments here about cutting my phone out, my health insurance, scary stuff. I will talk with my sister and brother later today and see what they have to say, if they have any opinion or can help me in any way. I don't think my dad told anyone yet that I know. To which HD8383 replies to this saying, despite being scared of what your dad will say, you'll need to face it at some point. Get the courage up and have the discussion with him, since your mum doesn't have the capacity to have the discussion. You'll be able to handle whatever comes your way. You'll have the strength, you just don't know it yet. Ask him, do you still want to be my dad? Straight up. And whatever answer you get, you'll be okay. At least you won't be in limbo anymore. If he chooses not to be your dad anymore, that's jacked up, but you'll be okay. Your siblings will be there for you, and so will we. My hope, as a father, is that he'll come to his senses and you guys will work something out. But realise that your dad is the one who is willing to have the tough discussion, and it's extremely tough. Mum isn't being a mum right now, she's caught up in herself. And one more final one, because I think this is relevant as well, from 10,000 Chestnuts, who says, and adds on to that comment saying, to add on to what's going on with the dad, there's a lot at play here. I'm assuming the dad is doing pretty well financially, but putting 2 kids through college isn't cheap. It's possible that child number 3 might be too much. He might be disappointed that he can't do it and is just using this as a coping mechanism. It sounds like up until the subject of college came up, there was a very good relationship. It seems a little strange that they have had a good father-son relationship for 18 years and then the dad is willing to throw it away as soon as the subject of college comes up. OP, I think as far as dealing with your dad, you should try to be as understanding as possible. It seems to me there's likely an underlying issue here. Now we're going to move on over to the update to see what that says, and let's hope for something positive here. I'm not sure if it's going to happen though. So update says, I'm not sure if it's what you want to hear, but things are more or less back to a normal state, if you consider other events. Unfortunately, my grandpa died at the beginning of this week, and I am still processing it. I did manage to talk with both my mum and dad, and I know where I now stand in relation with them, as well as my siblings. I'm not sure I'd have had the courage to say what I had to say if not for the amount of help and advice in the comments. I think it is safe to say both parents love me, and what happened 2 weeks ago was an overreaction to a fight between my parents. It makes me uncomfortable knowing I'm not aware of my own environment, but a stranger in the comments can tell me what's happening in my life with only a few lines of text from my side. A lot of comments were spot on about what is happening in my life. I've so far went through 40%, I estimate, of the comments, but I have given up. There are too many for me to keep up with. The conclusion is that I'm definitely going to college. It will be the college I have always wanted to go to, and I will have the same experience as my siblings. The money to pay for all this already exists. My family is not going bankrupt as suggested. My dad just had a mental breakup with all the issues around my grandpa and his fight with my mum. Even if my dad would have went through with his decision, my grandma let me know my grandpa left me and my siblings a sum we would have to split between the 3 of us, but enough to put me through college. What started the entire scandal was poor timing on my part. My parents just had a fight and then I showed up, hey, pay for my college. My parents were talking about us, their children, and mum said something along the lines of, to think you wanted to split up when I came back pregnant, or something like that. I was not there, this is just what she told me. I guess dad was talking about how proud he was of his children, and my mum wanted to express her gratitude for dad raising me on his own. And dad took it as the affair was the best decision I had ever made, or something like that. And their fight escalated from there, and mum told dad something like, what makes you think any of them are yours? Yeah, it went downhill from there fast. Shortly after that, my dumb face showed up, and here I am. Dad and mum have since made up. Mum is still a mess, dad is not handling my grandpa's passing away too well either. I did talk with my siblings and my sister raised a storm and rode it here while blasting my parents on the phone. My brother was calmer, but made his feelings known in no uncertain terms as well once he got back home. My grandpa passing away sort of kept spirits calm, I guess, and shifted the focus to dealing with that. Reading the comments was a mind-opening experience. I felt unprepared for the world out there. Many have asked how I have no idea how to apply for loans or grants. Well, in my defense, when you go year after year after year, knowing you have nothing to worry about, that your college is as good as paid for already, you don't really have to worry about anything else. Of course, I knew there are loans and other things students have to be aware of, but it didn't apply to me. I went from, I'm going to college, can't wait, to, you're not my son and I will not pay for your college in less than 24 hours. Others have been prepared for this. At the very least, they knew they had to get a loan or get a job, look for a place to live and so on. For me, it was a sudden change in reality. Going through the comments, I managed to put a list together with various tips and tricks, what jobs are available for students, how to find a place to live, how to get a credit card, a bank account, a cell phone plan and so on. Really good stuff that I think, even after the return to normal, will help me. My parents have been called more names than they go by, and that was uncomfortable to read. And I haven't read all the comments. I can't even imagine what else lies in the comments. Waiting. Dad is very sorry, apologetic about his reaction and behaviour. I understand his reaction, but I still feel hurt by it. I understand he was not in the best place of mind, but I can't control my feelings either. We will be alright, and this hasn't irreparably damaged our relationship. Mum hasn't handled everything that well, but she is coming around and she answered some more questions for me. When Mum had an affair years ago and got pregnant with me, my parents started divorce. Mum moved in with a man she had an affair with, but after a few months that guy decided he wants nothing to do with it. He kicked Mum out and she had nowhere to go, so my grandparents took her in because she was still the mother of their nephews, and that's crossed out, and then grandkids. I'm getting a lot of heat for this mistake, but knowing my family's culture, grandparents called their grandkids nephews as well. Mum and Dad got back together. After a lot of work, Dad took me as his own, and that's my life since then. The man who is my natural father is not in the picture anymore. Dad didn't really know who he is, and Mum hasn't heard or seen him ever since. He was fully aware Mum was pregnant with his child. I guess he had more important things to do, but it doesn't sound like he was about to cure world hunger. She met him in a bar, not a fundraiser. And I don't feel a need to know any more about who he is. I thought about the matter the last 2 weeks since I've been aware of everything and haven't really felt a desire to know who he is, where he is, if he is still alive, if I have other siblings out there. I was suggested to go and buy a DNA kit from 23andMe. Maybe I can find him that way, but I think I will avoid doing this specifically so I don't find him or he finds me. As far as I care, I have a mum and dad and a brother and sister, and that's my family. Moving forward, I do plan of getting a job and becoming more independent, but not an attempt to distance myself from my family, but to feel like I would not be lost in the world if my family suddenly disappears. My mum admits I've been babied way more than my siblings, and that they should have prepared me more for what's coming next. I did learn where I stand with my family, and it's safe to say that I am loved and have options. I thought I am isolated, but my world is wider than I thought. Grandparents, siblings, my aunt, my cousins all have my back. I think my parents are human and they make mistakes, and even though this was not their greatest moment, I think I will look at everything as nothing more than a weak moment in an otherwise wonderful relationship. Thank you. Edit, in my family's cultural background, grandparents call their grandkids nephews as well. Stop calling me names, it was not a mistake. Please. And I think that's a lot more positive than I was kind of expecting after that story, and I think he's right at the end there, although I think it was a huge mistake on the father's part to say that to OP and treat him that way, because it's not OP's fault in the end, is it? I mean, come on, we read this. There was a story recently on Am I the Arsehole where one of the parents was blaming the child because it was a child from like an affair, if that's the right way of putting it. Sorry if that's wrong. And the child was getting blamed for it. And it's like, it's not the child's fault. It's the innocent party. And I can totally understand that, you know, there may be some resentment there, but it's to work through that and try to be the bigger person if you can. And that's what was sort of got to me. But it sounds like they got a good family bond in the end, to me. And they're working through their problems. You know, we all have problems. It's just how we deal with them in the end. And it sounds like it's the best part. And I'm glad that OP is working on becoming, you know, an adult and learning the little things that you have to learn about, like applying for loans and credit cards and just sorting your life out, because you're totally right. At some stage, you are going to need those skills. They're very minor skills, but you do need them. They play a big part in your life. Now, what do you guys make of this story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and we'll move on to another one. And our next story comes from a throwaway account. My husband, 34 male, son 6 and I, 32 female, moved to his home country and his family treats me like their maid. I'm not sure if this is the right place to post this, but here goes, and I apologise for the format as I'm on a phone. My husband, son and I moved to his home country because he got a job opportunity there and wanted to be close to his family. I don't have much family to begin with, so I decided to say yes. His family and I have always gotten along very well every time we went to visit and vice versa. We have currently been staying with his parents, brother-in-law and his kids, and it's been hell. Ever since we moved in, their attitude flipped like a switch. I'm expected to wake up much earlier than everyone every day and make breakfast, and when I say early, I mean 5 AM. This is followed by cleaning up after everyone, doing dishes, and general cleaning. I also cook lunch and dinner because they expect cooked food for all 3 meals during the day. I wash everyone's laundry, iron and fold it. I'm expected to take care of my husband's nephews, and one of them is disabled and confined to a wheelchair, and I am now his primary caretaker. This includes bathing him, changing his diaper, and making sure he is comfortable while brother-in-law is at work, although even when he isn't, I'm still expected to do the same. I'm at everyone's beck and call all day and every day. I don't even spend quality time with my son anymore. I'm so exhausted, and if I even complain about the amount of work I do or do it wrong, I get berated. I'm also not allowed to get a job because wives are supposed to stay at home and raise kids and run the household. My husband works, but I don't even get to see a cent of his money because it's a man's responsibility and only he can handle finances. The thing that hurts the most is my husband agrees with his family 100%. I feel so betrayed because this wasn't my expectation. Staying with his family wasn't even in the plan. I'm just so tired. I just want to go home. I feel like my son will eventually see how unhappy I am. I am, however, grateful that my in-laws treat him normally, even though he isn't biologically my husband's, and he seems to be happy to be staying with his new cousins. I've tried speaking with my husband many times, but he does not want to budge about moving, saying it's tradition for us to be in taking care of his parents, and wives have been and will continue being in this position, and that I'm in, so I should stop being so dramatic. I don't know anyone here, and I feel so lonely and trapped. I'm not entirely sure of what kind of advice I'm looking for, but I just want someone to reassure me that I'm not crazy. How can I try to talk to my husband so it gets through to him? In this one, I sort of come into it, and I'm sort of like relieved that it's not his son as well, because I'm not sure on the whole culture thing and how easy it is to get out of this situation, but to me, I feel like you just need to get out of there. Is this the life that you want for you and your son? I know you're saying your son's happy, but is this the life that you want? It's clearly not, so you clearly just need to get out of there as soon as possible, to me. Even if you need to do it like secretly or whatever, I think if I was in that position, and I know I don't know the ins and outs of what OP's going through and what they can actually do for themselves, but this isn't the life that they should be living, right? They need to get out of there. And that's all I can say. And hopefully some comments are going to back me up, because I feel like I might be treading on eggshells on this one. But Who Am I 1978 says, do not have a child with him. It'll be really hard to leave and take your child. I'm really happy he's not your son's father. Please, things will not get any better for you, but they may get worse. Go to your country's embassy to see if they can help you get out. Start having a friend or family send you money, but make sure it is hidden in something else, because they probably will open up your mail. Odd Meat says, you won't get through your husband. He does not want to hear any of it. If he told you to stop being dramatic and won't budge. Sounds like your husband planned this. Is this really the life you want to live? Young Coasty says, you got played. This was the plan all along. Get your resources together and take your child back to your home country. 19 Gamer says, take your son and go home. File for divorce. You don't deserve to be treated like garbage. If they want a maid, they can hire one. Or pick a place to start over. He's not biologically his son. He has no legal right to your son, so that's one headache gone right there. And Nork says, this won't get better. In some cultures, it's written into customs that the daughter-in-law is pretty much the baby-making house slave. Start planning your exit now, and very secretly. Now, what do you guys make of these two stories? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you choose to share them, or if not, you just being here is more than enough. I love your company, so thank you so much. And I hope you have a great day ahead of you of whatever you're doing today, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.